This is just one of the routes that we often quite use. Welcome to how I talk. That we quite often use to get from Norwich to Wyndham. It's not my favourite route. I just haven't done it that many times. That's why it's not my favourite. I'm not as comfortable with it. I would still need Google Maps if Stefan hadn't have gone in front of me, because normally I like to turn left up here and come out in Heatherset. That is my preferred route. At the traffic lights, me and Stefan did have a bit of a moment because he was like, oh, let's go the Watton way, and I'd had my heart set on going the other way towards Heatherset, but we did this way. He rode in front of me so that I could follow him to try and keep up and learn to take corners and such better. So rewatching this footage back has massively helped in understanding lane positioning and trajectory when going around roundabouts. There's two coming up and you'll see he's positioned left in the lane, goes across to the right of the lane when going on the roundabout, off the roundabout to the left, follows it through to the right, and it just creates that nice smooth line when going around the roundabout. And he does exactly the same on the next one. He's ridden in front of me to show me numerous times to explain it, and I've struggled so much. I vaguely understand, but when somebody's riding in front of me trying to explain, I get quite overwhelmed because I'm concerned that I'm missing shoulder checks or not looking in my mirrors. I get quite fixated. So rewatching that little snippet massively helped in what I need to be thinking about and focusing on, as well as all my shoulder checks. But now I can be like, okay, I need to do this now. So Stefan was riding ahead to help show me the best way to go, really. Positioning, taking corners. Just all I had to do was follow him. I didn't enjoy it. We did it the following day where I did manage to keep up with him, and I really didn't enjoy it. I much prefer taking corners as if I was on a mobility scooter, although sometimes they do go quite fast. But I'm new. I'm new at riding. I've only actually been on this bike for a couple of months. I passed my full license in April, but he was essentially building the front end to the bike. So I was still on the 125 for a good old chunk of time after passing my test. And then we got this bike on the road. I've since having it on the road, I've ridden to Luton, flight to Spain, ridden back to Norwich. I've done that on the 125. It was much easier on this 500 in comparison. So I'm riding a Honda CB500 and Stefan is riding a Honda Transalp 650. We call it the Trans Africa because it's a Transalp with a Africa twin front. Both of our bikes have modified front ends. Mine is super cute. It's got like a little wally face. It's amazing. I'm very, very happy with how my bike has turned out, thanks to Stefan. The grand plan is that we are going to ride the bikes to Spain. We'll be going from Norwich to Portsmouth, and the ferry from Portsmouth to Santander, and then from Santander to a place in Spain called Estartit, which is on the right of Spain, below the French border, about 40 minutes north of Barcelona. Very lovely place. It will be quite an achievement for me personally to have gone from crying on the back of a bike to riding to Spain on my own bike. I have only ever been pillion on the bike to Spain, and even then we went through France. The reason why we're going to be getting the ferry from Portsmouth to Santander is for my benefit, really, so that I don't get too exhausted. It's my first foreign trip on my bike. It's my first foreign trip on me riding any bike, so baby steps. I've never even ridden a bike in a different country, let alone, yeah, it's crazy. And to be honest, this all started because we did Norwich to Barcelona one year for the MotoGP, and then the following, well, let's backtrack, Norwich to Barcelona on a VFR 750, not comfortable. That was an experience. We then got the Trans-Africa, as we call it, and then did Norwich to Assen, once again for the MotoGP, and it was more comfortable, but it still wasn't ideal. And at that point I had only had my CBT for a few months, but I was already toying with the idea that I wanted to ride my own bike. Being a pillion is cool and all, but I find that if my brain isn't being challenged, I disorientate, or discombobulate as we call it. It's hard work. I am very aware that riding a bike through to Spain is also going to be hard work, but at least it will be so much more rewarding. Anyway, back to this a second. We're coming up to where I've slowed so far down that you can't see it in the video, but I can only see Stefan's white helmet above the tree line, because this is actually quite nice. You can see if a car's coming up ahead, so you can take these corners a lot wider, as long as you are looking far ahead. But yeah, I just had to follow a white helmet just above the wheat line and successfully did it. Any moment we're coming up to Wyndham. Any moment. It is quite nice at how flat and level it all is, and how you can see quite far ahead. You can see the buildings coming up as we're about to come into Wyndham. The garden centre's like somewhere on the left. Anyway, back into a 40, and I'm getting better at not stopping at certain giveaways that I'm comfortable with. That one being one, you know, slow down enough, look far enough, you're fine. Anyway, this bit of road, there's road markings, feel safe, and got a cool shadow from the sun behind. I do massively struggle with the sun, and sometimes even just riding at night with all the lights. I have an astigmatism, so that's a lot of light lines. Oh, garden centre, there we go. Just dawdling along. I could be catching him up, but I was feeling pretty grouchy about now because we hadn't gone the other way that I'd wanted to go. I know, pathetic, but and then we're coming up to the roundabout. Now, from here, I pretty much know where I am. So I knew where I wanted to go. I wanted to go straight over second exit. And the white van was going towards me, so boom. Now, normally I would have got into the right lane and gone third exit on the roundabout. And when this is where Stefan went, you go whatever way you want. I was like, oh, I don't want to go on my own. So I ended up following, and I knew we were going to go a way that I was not keen on, but I didn't overly express myself as to why I wasn't keen on it. But at the same time, I need practice with slip roads, so this is good practice. Getting back onto the A11. So here we go, sun in our eyes, glorious rays, and then check. Obviously I haven't filmed any of like me, so you can't see me doing my shoulder checks and making sure that there's enough gap. There was barely anybody on that bit of road. We stay left because we're taking the next exit. No point in trying to overtake anyone. And at this point, to get where we wanted to get, you can go left or right. Left is my least favourite way, which when we get to those parts of the road I will voice my opinions on them, but that's another good junction that I have learned to not stop at every single time. And then yeah, I am holding back. You can see that I'm holding back. Stefan overtakes that car, and I'm just happy to be listening to music on my own little adventure. That glitch that just happened is because Insta360 only records 29 minutes at a time. Lucky enough, I had it plugged into the bike, so it then automatically restarts filming the next 29 minutes or until you stop filming. So I was able to stitch them together to continue the journey. So we're now going to be turning right onto a section of road that I dislike. The road surface isn't that great, and there tends to be a lot of dirt and sand in the road, which in a moment will be very visible. This road has recently been used as a diversion. It's not much of a wide road, you can't fit 2 cars down it, because there's passing places. Lucky enough, on a bike you can fit past the Amazon van. You can see here all of the dust that's around that makes this road a lot less unenjoyable. I don't know why I fell over that word. I have had an accident that involved a very sandy corner that it was not fun, and it hurt quite a lot. The bike just had a donk and a broken foot peg, but I had a very bruised leg for a week. So this next junction, I don't know particularly why I paused at it longer than what I should have, but I did. So now we're turning right again onto my next least favourite section of road. There are a couple of corners that have dirt mounds on them, and there tends to be a lot of dirt on the road on those corners, and I tend to take those corners quite slowly. There's some quite nice houses around here, some just cheap ones. There's even a golf club. Not sure how much of a golf club it is. Like, it is nice to have these views, but I would much rather have nicer roads than pretty views. Somebody's been having a lot of building work in this area as well, which is cute. They've been building a barn. Anyway, it's pretty much not straight from here. There's some turns. And then you come up to this junction and you turn right for Ashwellthorpe, which is what we do, or you turn right to get into Wyndham. And this is a road that I am much more comfortable on, so I do pick up the speed. I do apologise for all of this rambling, but hopefully it has been alright.